Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you're watching The Political Vigilante. And Gina G, one of the viewers of the show, just let us know that a friend of hers who worked for SpaceX committed suicide. And I just want to say this: if there's anyone out there having a tough time, and you're thinking about taking your own life, reach out to somebody and talk to someone if you can. Because and when this was announced in the live chat, other people in the live chat are talking about friends of theirs and their nephew and other people that have committed suicide. And it's tough. And I've had friends do that as far back as like high school or junior high or something like that. And yeah, it's really tough. And I am someone who has thought about it myself and had really tough moments. 4 years ago when repressed memories came forward of being abused as a kid, it was really overwhelming. And then I had my girlfriend at the time was not sympathetic to it and started drinking and doing drugs and became violent. I had to get a restraining order, and it was like the most challenging thing I've been through. And yeah, there was really tough days. There were days I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I went to a therapist. I went and I did EMDR. If you've had to deal with any sort of traumatic event or whatever from childhood or adult life, EMDR is very useful, and it's helped, vets and stuff like that. Very much helped me. And a friend of mine who had repressed memories come forward of himself being abused, he recommended it to me, and it was really helpful. And I would also recommend support groups. There's a bunch of them. If you're dealing with any sort of substance abuse, the 12-step ones are very effective, AA and all that stuff. Support groups of any kind are great because you're in a room with people who are going through what you're going through. And there's a stigma, like, I'm thinking about killing myself. You don't say that. Everyone goes, and you got to find people that you can say that to who aren't going to like wig out, or they're going to go, no, I get it, man. I've been there too, and aren't going to just say that like, you got so much to live for, or say like, yeah, it sucks. And suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So if you're having a tough time, reach out. Reach out to somebody, reach out to a professional. Kate, can you put the number of a suicide prevention hotline up, and I can put that on the screen? So yeah, and as people are putting in the chat here, America's having a mental health crisis, and it's part of it. We don't want to deal with it. It's too uncomfortable. It's, I don't want to talk about it, or I'm just having a bad day, or people who suffer from depression or mental illness, like, suck it up. Like, we all have a tough day, get over it. Well, that's not the same if you have, clinical depression or some type of mental illness that is, whatever it is, that's causing you to just, there's a chemical imbalance or whatever, and your brain is basically giving you the bad information, So, reaching out, and I'm putting here, this is the number for a suicide prevention hotline. Yeah, this is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Veterans should press 1 to be connected with the Veterans Crisis Line, because 22 vets a day commit suicide. Sunlight without sunglasses helps prevent depression. Yeah, and there's a multitude of things. For me, when I was going through all this tough stuff, I did a bunch. There's not just like one fix. It was like support groups. It was therapy once a week. It was making sure I ate really healthy, because like sugar and crappy food really messes with my moods personally. And sugar is not good for the human body. I remember feeling depressed and was like, have you been eating leafy greens? And I'm like, what? I'm like, well, I don't know. I haven't had like a salad in a couple of days. Or they're like, no, you need to have that a lot. So I was like, oh, wow. Getting outside, exercise, being in nature, all that stuff helps on top of, professional help. And when you have a tough day and you're feeling shitty, that's okay. You're not a bad person. You haven't failed. It's just like it's like everyone can have a bad day. So, reach out, ask for help. And yeah, healthy body promotes a healthy mind. Yeah, many brain imbalance and depression drugs can have side effects of suicidal thoughts. Yeah, I mean, if you really need medication for mental illness, that's okay. I totally get it. But for me personally, I really wanted to explore natural alternatives before doing any of that stuff because I know some of the side effects. Or the minute you go off the meds, then you become suicidal, and that worried me personally. Make your own decisions with your own medical professionals, but that's why I'm just a big proponent of eating healthy, because I see what happens when I don't eat healthy, how I'm just like, oh, I didn't get a good night's sleep and maybe I ate some crappy food or something. And it's like, oh, wow. I always ask, like, what did I, from like super irritable or something, like, what did I not eat? Did I eat some crappy food? What happened? It's like, oh, wow. Yeah. And really make phone calls. I mean, for me, like, especially this last year and a half living alone and the isolation of the pandemic, I really made a point of like, I got to reach out to people. I got to call people. I got to try to meet up with people. Even like when the pandemic was nuts, I'm like, let's just meet in the park and sit 10 feet away from each other, and be outside and get some sun. And that's why surfing is important and all that stuff is important. Physical exercise is important. Physical exercise outside, I think, is very important. Vitamin D, all that stuff. So I'm obviously no medical professional, but those are the things that I've used to help me deal with that. So, yeah, it turns out health is a full-time job. Magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin B12, turmeric, coconut oil, get you back to health. Yeah, I take all those things, are good. And whatever works, for you. So I'm sorry to anyone out there that's lost someone to suicide. Unfortunately, we all have. That's a real bummer. And if you're struggling or someone that's struggling, my friend Brody Stevens, he's a comic that everybody knew and everyone liked him. And, he took his own life 2 years ago. I was on the road when I found out. That's just brutal. And he suffered from mental illness and stuff. So, reach out. The numbers below right there. Yeah. So thank you, Gina, for sharing that with us. And thank you to everybody in the chat who's been sharing, friends that you used and yeah. Yeah. All right. I hope this helps. If anyone out there struggling, call the number, call friends, talk to a therapist, get a support group, get all of the above, some of the above, any of the above. All those things help. Love is the answer. There is so much truth in that statement. Absolutely. Yeah, find some love. People are putting here St. John's wort, a plant that grows in the wild, has been used for centuries for mental health conditions. It was widely prescribed for depression in Europe. That's good to know. Yeah, a lot of good options out there. Richard Jenny killed himself. Yeah, I didn't know Richard, but yeah, I remember when that happened. A lot of comics have done that. So, thank you all for watching this, talking about this, being open to talk about it. Thank you, Gina G, for sharing with us and everybody else for sharing. I appreciate the open and honesty here. We try to do that on the show and support everything we do. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.